All right. Willingness to work this time. So let's go ahead and get started. First and foremost, I want to say Shalom to the elect of Israel, to the hopeful elect of Israel. You Hebrew Israelites, you so-called Negro, Latinos, Native American, West Indian Haitians, and the foreign Israelites that look like the other nations scattered across the four corners of the earth. Got to give all praise to Barak, Yahawah, Barak, Yahawashi, Barak, Yahawah, Barak, Yahawashi, Barak, Yahawah, Barak, Yahawashi. Got to give all praises to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Qadash. I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles of great millstone who led me to this truth. I've been ordained by the Lord to teach the flock how to live, repent, pray, fast, and show forth the Lord's righteousness and mercy, judgment, forgiveness, and wrath to all those who are part of the elect, to the hopeful elect. Lord willing will be part of their number. Lord willing is be edifying to those who fear in the name of the Lord and striving to show forth the Lord's righteousness every day to the best of their abilities. The judgment always comes to light. Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 5, and is not slack. 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 9, and is unto a ring. 2 Ezra chapter 5, verse 42. We're here to witness the fall of these wicked nations and also to give a sincere salutation. 144,000 mighty men across the earth, whomever they may be, in the honorable multitude who consist of few men and more women and children. May the Lord be in your houses today as we exalt the name of Yahawashi. Also like to give thanks to Yahawashi for giving me the abilities to be able to edify the flock to the best of my abilities and continue to watch as things unfold, and we watch the fall of America, Babylon the Great, and all the other nations across the four corners of the earth. So I want to deal with it says Mike Rowe's warning to white collar workers, U.S. ceiling talks, and various end time topics. So Lord put the spirit on me to deal with this because these Edomites, so-called white men, they have always been secure. They've always been secure. They've always been, fine here. They didn't need to worry about them losing something because the way it was set up, But now they're starting to find out that, these nations are trying to get rid, these really the elites, Amalek, the first descendants of them, they're going to start getting rid of them as well. The majority of them, and forcing them to have to go into this new way of slavery, which is the sea hit, the Karagma. They're not going to own nothing no more, and that's why it's going to be a big issue with a lot of these people, because they don't want to be slaves. They don't know what it's like to be that. They have no idea what it means to be an indentured servant and not making $78 billion off of everybody else. So, like I said, we're going to go over here. It's talking about the white collar jobs, okay? It's talking about the robots are coming for your white collar jobs. So this is the Lord putting them back to the basis of men, showing they ain't nothing. This is part of that situation. So let's watch a little bit of this, and we're going to tie in some precepts.
We're here live with our in-studio audience and How America Works host, Mike Rowe. We're talking job security, also dealing with debt. Now, listen to this statistic. According to the World Economic Forum, nearly a quarter of all jobs are going to be disrupted in the next 5 years because of artificial intelligence. So I'm really pleased to say that we can come back to our live audience for this. I kind of want to gauge a poll and sort of gauge your interest on how we stand on AI. How many of you are scared of it, a little nervous about AI? How many of you think it could be a good thing, maybe a good disruptor?
Look at that. Maybe on the Jake back there talking about he ain't scared of AI. You tripping, Jake.
The other half of that. Maybe this is geared towards the younger ones. How many of you think that it could replace a job in the next couple years? Double hands.
See, it's going to replace jobs very soon, okay? It's going to be a lot of jobs. It's already someone taking over. So they're saying in the next 5 years, but they're talking about coming towards their jobs, okay? We're not talking about people down here. People down here at the bottom, they're going to have a lot of these bots replace our jobs, okay? A lot of these jobs that, that deal with simple labor, which is damn near every job out there. You see? And then eventually they're gonna have them smart enough to where they take over the other jobs.
On the flip side, how many of you, maybe towards the younger students, look at AI and think maybe this is a new career opportunity and you could actually pivot to look at something within robotics or AI? Just one, just two. Okay, so that's interesting. Actually, maybe I thought I was more optimistic. I thought AI could actually present a lot of more opportunities, but it seems like people are much more afraid of what it could do rather than maybe more optimistic.
Well, the uncertainty is just so big here.
Yeah.
You know, when you wade into uncertainty, maybe that's one of the questions for you, Mike, as you think about the big one. I'm just thinking of a question. You could ask yours too, but the big question, how do you deal with those big question marks in life, especially around things like AI?
Look, I mean, you can't put in the sand, but you can't panic either. It's coming. You know, the robots are coming. The AI is coming. It's and it concerns me too. I had my hand in the air.
What are the recession-proof jobs to get around that concern?
Well, look, it's really the same kind of robotic conversation I've been having for years. Like, people used to say that the robots are going to destroy skilled labor. Well, not really. I haven't seen any plumbing robots. I haven't seen any electrician robots, and I don't think we're going to see any artificial intelligence in the skilled trades to that degree. But
So think about that. If you're not an electrician, a plumber, a welder, a nurse, business consultants, or investigative journalists, then that's it. Think about all the other jobs on the planet, all the other jobs that are out there. They're going to have these filled with these damn robots, man. They're trying to get rid of us.
You can't stop it. So all you can do is decide to freak out completely or not. Look, in my life,
see, and that's what I'm saying. Like, they're not here to help us at all. Okay, this is proven. You know, they're going to have all these bots all over the place, and all of us is going to be, stuck out here to deal with it. It even talked about like all the interstates. Okay, we're going to have to deal with, like blackouts because they don't have enough money to keep the electricity going and stuff. So, I want to actually put in a precept with what else I'm tying in. So this is what we got to get ready for. And this is what we're going to have to be the same way that, our forefathers were, because we are our forefathers. I have to do this again if we were the ones who were to do it. So this is Hebrews chapter 11, verse 13. And it reads, these all died in faith, not having received the promises. And this is talking about Abraham and all them, and they still had faith. But having seen them afar off, they were persuaded of them and embraced them and confessed that they were strangers and pilgrims on the earth. That's what we're going to have to do when the time comes, Hold on, right here. It's also in 2nd Esdras, chapter 16, verse 40. It says, "O my people, hear my word, make you ready to thy battle, and in those evils be as pilgrims upon the earth." And these are the evils that are coming. Part of this AI takeover, them bringing these robots everywhere. We're going to have to be like pilgrims, moving place to place, not going to be able to stay around, Bro, you got to remember this. It's 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 13. It says, there have been no temptation taking you, but such as is common to man. And the biggest temptation is that charagma. We're all going to have to face that. But power is faithful, which is Yahawah, who will not suffer you to be tempted above what ye are able, but will with the temptation also make a way to escape, that ye may be able to bear it. So we pray, that we're part of that number that is able to escape, and get through this. So this is, Isaiah chapter 19, verse 15. And it reads, neither shall there be any work for Egypt, which the head or tail, branch or rush may do. So we know that, there's not going to be no work left for the majority of people, but it's going to go all the way up to the head. That's why he said in white collar jobs, they're coming for them. It's 1 Corinthians 7:29. And it reads, but I say this, brethren, the time is short, it remaineth, but both they that have wives be as though they had none. So, we talked about that yesterday, but my whole point is that the time is running out. So we need to be putting this truth first. And even at that time, we were supposed to be putting the truth first, but I'm meaning mainly, talking to the ones that are coming new into the truth. We're not part of the body, we're not, we need to still put this truth first. We need to put our lives on the line, because the ones who are in GMS who've been in there for a long time already know this and they've been doing it. So Ecclesiastes (7:15), and it reads, all things I have seen in the days of my vanity, there is a just man that perisheth in his righteousness, and there is a wicked man that prolongeth his life in wickedness. And that's what he's doing. That's what these people are doing. They're prolonging their lives and trying to get rid of the debt by bringing these robots in so they won't have to pay us no more. Romans chapter 8, verse 7, because, they want to maintain humanity to 500 million, just like it said on the Georgia Guidestones before they got destroyed. They're still trying to do that. This Romans chapter 8, verse 7, it reads, because the carnal mind is enmity against power, for it is not subject to the law of power, neither indeed can be. And that's why I said in Genesis 3:15 that he will set enmity between both the seeds, Jacob and Esau, that it comes down to, because why are they enemy to the Lord? Because they're carnal minded. Why is 2/3 of our people enemy to the Lord? Because they carnal minded. They trying to call on Egypt to save them, which we know is here. Revelations chapter 11, verse 14. No, Revelations chapter it's 11, verse 8. Saying it's spiritually carnal, spiritually Sodom and Egypt. And it's Sodom because people be practicing sodomy out here. And then it's Egypt because, this is the revived Roman Empire. This is new Egypt. Because Egypt means bondage, slavery, it means captivity. This is our captivity. And he said Deuteronomy 28:68, like, most people who are in the truth know we're bring over here on ships into Egypt again. And also there's a pyramid on the dollar, It's just so many different signs physically and spiritually for us to know that this is where we're at. So this is Proverbs chapter 14, verse 12. It reads, there is a way which seemeth right unto man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. So they think what they're doing is going to profit them, and it's going to eventually turn out good, but it's going to be what gets them killed, gets everybody destroyed, including with 2/3 of our people. Only people that's going to make out of here are the elect. So Lord willing, we part of that number. So we're going to keep moving. We're going to talk about the debt ceiling. U.S. debt ceiling talks productive as Biden and McCarthy to meet 10 days from deadline. So the Sunday night phone call between President and Republican House Speaker was reported to have struck a more positive tone, but they don't know what to do, okay? They don't know what to do, but they're talking about meeting today about it, okay? So we're going to consider the whole matter, and we're going to see what happens. Right here, it says Yellen says June 1st is a hard deadline for raising the debt ceiling. So let's hear what this is, because they're talking positive, but you got over here the U.S. Treasury Secretary is not speaking promising them good things. So this is how you know that, you know, they're just trying to keep the majority of America Babylon the Great calm, because they know that they're, you know, this is going to go down, you know, sooner or later. But it says on Sunday, said June 1st remains a hard deadline for raising the federal debt limit, with the odds quite low that the government will collect enough revenue to bridge to June 15th, when more tax receipts are due. Yellen, speaking on NBC's Meet the Press program, said that there will be hard choices to make about payments to Americans if Congress failed to raise the 31.4 trillion debt ceiling before the Treasury ran out of cash and was forced to default. I indicated in my last letter of Congress that we expect to be unable to pay all of our bills in early June. And they've been saying that. They've been saying that possibly as soon as June 1st. I will continue to update Congress. I certainly haven't changed my assessment. So I think that's a hard deadline. And they've been talking about they're going to run out of money for the last 2, 3, 4 months around June and July. So if they've been talking about it for the last 4 or 5 months, why are they getting to it just now? Why are they talking about just handling now? See, they had a time, man. You know, more than likely, it's about to be some serious issues going down. Okay. So we're going to put in some precepts and then we're going to move on. Jeremiah 44, verse 13. And it reads, "For I will punish them that dwell in the land of Egypt, as I have punished Jerusalem," which is Jerusalem, which is basically our people, 2/3 of our people, because we're hoping to, you know, be the ones a part of the numbers that he doesn't use these things to destroy with. You know, the 4 sword judgments, by the sword, by the famine, and by the pestilence. You know, and one of them is also the noisome beast. You know, and that's why he said, "I'll punish them that dwell in the land of Egypt." This is the second time he's going to punish it, but he's only going to punish 2/3 because 1/3 of us have repented and came back to the ways of Yahawah to the best of our abilities, and we're keeping ourselves unspotted from this wicked world. You know, but last time none of us made it. Verse 14, "So that none of the remnant of Judah, which are gone into the land of Egypt to sojourn there, shall escape or remain. They shall return to the land of Judah, that they should return to the land of Judah, to the which they have a desire to return to dwell there. For none shall return, but such as shall escape." You know, and that's what happened to us last time. You know, we was punished, but this time 1/3 of us is gonna make it out of here. So we hope to be part of that number. You know, if we endure to the end, you have to endure to the end. You know, the moment the Lord wakes you up, you got to endure. So this is Jeremiah. And that's a big thing that made me not really believe in churches when I was growing up, because I seen that scripture, that precept that said only those who endure to the end shall be saved. So I was like, what's all these people talking about they saved? Ain't nobody saved. You ain't at the end yet. You know, and that's what caught to, like, you know, led me from not really trusting the churches, you know. So I really didn't like church growing up most of my life. You know, I didn't believe in it, you know. But, you know, Lord did it to lead me here. So Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 9, it reads, "The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it?" So you got all these people trying to act like they know themselves and they know what to do, and they have good thought process on what's going on. But, you know, if you ain't got the guidance of Yahawashi from the elders and apostles, a great millstone, then, you know, you're being deceived. You're deceiving yourself. You know, and the Lord's allowing you to. So this is Daniel chapter 7, verse 25. And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change the times and the laws. And there was another article that Biden was talking about. He was going to try to move the debt ceiling or fix it with the 14th Amendment. They're going to try to change the times and laws so they can keep living this lie. They shall be given into his hand until a time and a times and a dividing a time. So Lord willing, we are getting past the time where the Lord delivers us out of this devil's hand. You know, we're real close. Psalm 64, because they're getting weaker by the day. Psalm 64, verse 6. This is what they do. They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search, both the inward thought, every one of them, and the heart, which is the mind, which is lab, which means the mind is deep. So that's what they do. They search out our iniquities. They search out, try to find out ways for us to keep going off, try to find out ways to kill us through the food, through the water, through robots, through whatever else they can figure out, you know. And they're getting to the point where they're running out of ideas and they're finna just, you know, enforce this satanic, you know, these satanic plot to bring out that charagma and force everybody to be digital slaves. So they won't have to worry about being part of the debt ceiling no more. They just have all the money and we won't own nothing. They'll have all the resources. Isaiah chapter 29, verse 15. Woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Lord, and their works are in the dark. And they say, who seeth this and who knoweth this? You know, and that's how these people are. They have all these different plans of crashing the system on purpose. You know, and of course it's from Bahasham and Yahawashi, but they think nobody don't see what they doing. And that's why they're terrified of the elders and apostles of Great Millstone and the ones who are clinging to them on down, because we're exposing them through these you know, epistles. We're exposing them through, you know, these lessons, you know, whether people, you know, forbear or not forbear. You know, we here just to show you, look what's going on every day. Every day, everybody's living. The Lord's doing something every day. Psalms 49:11, their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations, and they call their lands after their own names. And this is what they think. They think they're going to last forever. But now people are starting to wake up and they're starting to say, oh, man, I don't think so. You know, it's not looking good. You know, so now we're going to go over here and deal with they talking about climate change, but we know there ain't no such thing as climate change. This is, you know, the Lord used Esau, Edom to mess with the temperatures. So Vietnam records highest temperature of 44.1 degrees Celsius. Okay, we're gonna look that up. In Fahrenheit. Yeah. Yeah. That's 111 degrees. So it's 111 degrees out there right now. That's hot. You know? So, you know, yep, just over 111 Fahrenheit, with experts predicting it could soon be surpassed because of climate change. So, you know, that's what's going on over there. And while that's going over there, Canada is having a lot of wildfires. So let me see if I can refresh this, and then we're gonna deal with a few precepts and move on. Come on now. It's probably not going to work, but it's just a small clip showing that there's fires over there. It's not really expedient for us to do it, but it says since the first local state emergency was declared on 4th of May, over 782,000 acres, hectares of land have been burned. Local officials said climate researchers in Alberta say hot, dry, and windy weather has pushed fire conditions even further to the extreme. So it's just all types of stuff that is, you know, everything's heating up physically and spiritually. This place is starting to heat up. So dealing with that, we're going to do Job 24:19. And it reads, drought and heat consume the snow waters. So doeth the grave those which have sinned. You know, and that means that people are going to be getting put to death. You know, the graves fill up, you know, from everybody who's sinned, you know. And we've all sinned, but some of us come back to repentance, you know, and it says that, you know, in Matthew, like I said yesterday, in Matthew 26:18, that some of us ain't going to see that. You're going to get to go up to the kingdom and not die this time, you know. And there's some of us that maybe not even have been, you know, around, you know, in those days. And he just bring you to be saved at this time. Who knows? We don't know. The only thing we know, though, is that, you know, sinners are getting judged, you know, ones who want to remain in inequity. And then 2/3 and, you know, the other 17 nations are getting judged, period. Okay, this is their judgment, okay, to die here. Then the 1/3 is to ultimately be saved, but we will not go unpunished. That's what it says. You know, let me just bring it up, actually. It says it right here. It says, for I am with thee, saith the Lord Yahawah, to save thee, though I make a full end of the nations whither I have scattered thee, yet I will not make a full end of thee, but I will correct thee in measure and will not leave thee altogether unpunished. And this is why we go through certain things throughout our lives. You know, we go through certain things that, you know, are grievous and hard to bear, and, you know, but it's all for our good. So, okay, we're going to do Isaiah 49:10. And it reads, they shall not hunger nor thirst, neither shall the sun smite them. This is talking about the elect, for he have mercy on them that shall lead them. But he that have mercy on them shall lead them, even by the springs of water shall he guide them. And that's what we're hoping. We're hoping the Lord guides us through these troubling times, Jacob's trouble, and how he's guarding us right now is this truth. You know, that could also be, you know, a way of talking about the springs of water. You know, this is springs of water. It says that a man shall out of his belly flow rivers of living water, you know. And this is how he's guiding us through these tough times and these hard times, is through this truth, you know. But later on, it'll be, you know, physical as well, you know. And he does physical now, but it's not like it's going to be during Jacob's trouble. It's going to be completely different. You know, it's going to be complete submittance in that day. So Hosea chapter 13:5, and it reads, I did know thee in the wilderness, in the land of great drought. So the Lord knows that what we're going through. He knows that we're out here, you know, and there's a lot of drought and things going on, but he's going to find a way to deliver us through those temptations. Revelations, you know, we hope to be part of that number that, you know, he is remembered since the dawn of time that he created. Revelations chapter 7:16, they shall hunger no more, neither thirst anymore, neither shall the sun light on them, nor any heat. And that's what we're hoping to get to. We're hoping to get to that point to where we don't, you know, we don't go through these kind of things. And really, this is talking about, you know, spiritually, you know, because it's talking about in verse 15, it says, therefore are they before the throne of power and serve him day and night in his temple. This is our temple, our body, and he that sitteth on the throne shall dwell among them. When it's talking about not hungering or thirsting anymore, it's talking about for this truth, We used to hunger for this truth. And it says, in that day, my servants shall eat, you know, through the drought and through the pestilence and all that, and we shall drink. So that's why, you know, we're getting ourselves prepared right now in this, you know, with this spiritual food, you know, while everybody else is going through droughts and stuff because they want to keep sinning against the Lord. They don't want to repent. So right now, this is NAACP issues travel advisory for Florida, saying the state is openly hostile toward, you know, they say African Americans, but really it's Judite men and women under Governor DeSantis administration. So let's watch this a little bit. We're gonna put in some precepts.
That's it? Yeah. Progressive's Home Quote Explorer makes it easy to compare home insurance options.
Man, I told my wife I'd be in here for an hour.
Through Black history of the early 20th century.
The Great Migration, Harlem Renaissance, and we need paper, we need our pencils.
Darren Williams is taking these students on a journey through Black history of the early 20th century.
The Great Migration, Harlem Renaissance, and jazz.
Williams is teaching the inaugural course in AP African American Studies at McLean High School in Tulsa, Oklahoma, alongside Shekinah Hall, teaching a second class.
All these folks are going to be, in their own ways, documenting and creating Black culture.
McLean.
And, you know, we know that Black culture is, you know, not even our culture. It's been, you know, something that has been tainted by Esau Edom. Is saying that and over there in Florida, you know, we got brothers out there. There's brothers out there in Florida, you know, but it's saying that they're denying it. But, you know, in a sense, you know, it's not like they're teaching the truth over there at the doggone schools over here in Tulsa. They're not teaching them really where we're from. They're not telling us that we're the biblical Hebrew Israelites. They're not telling us what really happened. You know, they're trying to say that we're African American, and Africa was named after Africanus, and that's a so-called white man. You know what I mean? So, you know, how could that be? How could that be that we from Africa when it was named after, you know, these heathens, man? But it says both the LULAC and the NAACP say actions under DeSantis administration are hostile to their communities. Florida is openly hostile toward Judites, men, people of color, and they also don't like the LGBTQ, the rainbow individuals. The NAACP said before traveling to Florida, please understand the state of Florida devalues and marginalizes the contributions of and the challenges faced by Judite men and other communities of color, which is talking about the 12 tribes of Israel. You see, they hate us, man. These people don't care about us. And down here, they still deceiving our people with these false teachings of we from Africa. You know what I'm saying? They on some bullshit. So this is Deuteronomy chapter 25, verse 17. They're not telling them that they to be biblical Hebrew Israelites. So this is what we need to keep remembering as we go on forward, not to trust these devils. Remember what Amalek, which is the first descendants of Esau, which is the Rothschilds to this day, the leader, the elites, did unto thee by the way when ye came forth out of Egypt. And this was last time. How he met thee by the way and smote the hindmost of thee, even all that they were feeble behind thee. So he killed our women and children. He killed them. When thou was faint and weary, and feared not power. You never feared Yahawah. You fear Yahawah either. Therefore it shall be when the Lord thy power have given thee the rest of all thine enemies round about in the land which the Lord thy God, Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, giveth thee for an inheritance to possess it, that thou shalt blot out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven, and thou shalt not forget it. So they're going to be ultimately destroyed for what they've done. And they think that they're just going to keep living in the houses, are going to keep going on forever. And the last time we were in Egypt, they were killing our women, killing our children, doing all this other stuff. And you don't think it's going to happen to you. And what must be done unto them must what done unto us must happen to them. It's Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 27. And it reads, this is part of, the reason why we're all scattered. This is showing we're scattered in the word or in the Lord. Yahawah says, scatter you among the nations. Ye shall be left few in number among the heathen, whither the Lord shall lead you. And that's what we're right. Everywhere we're at, we're few in number. We don't have our own dwelling place. We don't have our own things because of what they did in the past to us. And they're going to pay for what they did. And they're going to pay for what they did this time with all their democracy and philosophies and all their other stuff they've done to try to hide the truth. That the Lord's only dealing with us. So this is Ezekiel chapter 37, verse 22. And it reads, and I will make them one nation in the land upon the mountains of Israel, and one king shall be king to them all. And that's going to be Yahawah, Yahawashi. And then it's going to be King David. It's going to be the 144,000 elect mighty men who are the governing body, and then the honorable multitude who cling to that body. They shall be no more two nations, which is talking about the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. Neither shall they be divided into two kingdoms anymore at all. And that's basically when they talk about the two witnesses. That's the two witnesses, the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom, who witnesses devil jack up the whole damn earth. That's what we're doing right now. We're witnessing it. We're seeing it. So this is Genesis 27:41. And this goes back, this hatred, this enmity goes all the way back to the beginning of the book. This is Genesis 27:41 is what I want to do. Genesis 27:41. And it reads, and Esau hated Jacob. And this is, they hate us. Okay, and the other 17 nations, 2/3 hate us too, and ultimately because they trust in Esau, Edom. So, and Esau hated Jacob because the blessing here wherewith his father blessed him, and Esau said in his heart, which is his mind, the days of mourning for my father at hand, then I will slay my brother Jacob. And that's what they're doing. They're hostile towards us, and in a lot of ways they try to do it privately. They try to do it sneaky. That's why it says that words are smooth as butter, but war was in his heart. They want to destroy us, but they can't destroy us unless we're going off and being wicked all the time. They can't mess with us, because they're only created to destroy the wicked. So that's why the Lord said, return from iniquity and return from wickedness. Romans 19, as it is written, Jacob I have loved, but Esau I have hated. This is all throughout the Bible. So when it says, as it is written, it's talking about the Old Testament. And the Lord loved Jacob, and Esau the Lord hated. And that's why Esau hates us, because the Lord don't love him and don't accept him. Why is that? This is Malachi. Chapter 1, verse 2. And it reads, yet I have loved you, saith the Lord, yet ye say, wherein thou hast loved us? And that's what 2/3 say. Well, you ain't never loved us. Look at all the stuff that we done went through. Look at all the slavery we done went through. That was our fault. We the ones who sinned against the Lord. So it says, saith the Lord. It says, what's not Esau Jacob's brother, saith the Lord, Yahawah, Yahawashi. I love Jacob, And I hated Esau and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. Whereas Edom said, we are impoverished. And they were. They were bring down and locked up in the caves and destroyed, you know. They were locked up in the caves for 1,000 years. But we will return and build the desolate places, thus saith the Lord of hosts. They shall build, but I will throw down. And during that time, we were ruling in peace, you know, whenever they were impoverished. But then they came out and deceived the earth, you know, in the 1500s. They shall build, but I will throw down and shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against the Lord have indignation forever. How do we know? Because since Genesis 3:15, he set enmity against the seed lines. He's always hated them. He's never loved them. And that's what's wrong with the Christians. They're always like, the Lord loves everybody. Well, then what is hate mean? You can't have just everybody loved and there's no hate. And this is why the Lord hated Esau, because he's carnal. Said that carnal-minded people are enmity. It is enmity against Yahawashi, carnal people. Okay? That's just literally all they think about is carnal means. They don't think spiritually at all. Hebrews chapter 12, verse 16, lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. Just a bloody ass state. And that's why they be liking their steaks like that. Okay, so this is Obadiah. Chapter 1, verse 18. Okay. So this is what's going to come down to, you know. It talks about it bruises his head and bruises our heel. It's going to come back to where we're gonna win in the end, you know, because of Yahawashi. So this reads, "In the house of Jacob shall be a fire." Let's go back to 17. "But upon Mount Zion, which is Israel, shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness. And the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions," and that's what's coming. We're going to overtake the reaper through Yahawashi, you know, and we hope to be a part of that number, you know, Lord willing. "And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them. And there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord Yahawashi have spoken it." You know, he's going to destroy them for what they did. It's all throughout the Bible. "And they of the south shall possess the mountains of Esau, and they the plain of the Philistines, and they shall possess the fields of Ephraim," and Ephraim means fruitful, "and the fields of Samaria, and Benjamin shall possess Gilead." So that's going to be all of Israel. They're going to have their inheritances that the Lord promised them. You know, the men. This is Genesis 29:34. And this is another just, you know, just to show that we know Esau. You know, they always try to make it seem like it's Japhet or something. No, it's not. You know, where's it at? Not that one. Not that one. This is the one I'm looking for. Genesis 27:41. Yeah. He said, "And Esau hated Jacob with the blessing." Oh, wait. Okay, I might have already put this one in there. Yep, I already got that one. So, yeah. So, you know, they out here killing us, you know, and that's what they do. You know, because of that truth that they've hid. They're mad because they don't have the blessing. So now we're going to move on. Now, this is something that, was a grievous judgment from Yahawashi. It says, grenade detonates in India home, killing a father, injuring his 2 children. A grenade detonated in a home in Indiana on Saturday, killing a father, injuring his 2 teenage children, report said Sunday. The family was looking through a grandfather's belongings when they found a grenade and someone pulled the pin. And that's all judgment of the Lord said. Man's goings are the ways of the Lord. Man's ways are the goings of the Lord, Man's goings are the ways of the Lord, And the Lord put the spirit on him to pull that pin. And, now's judgment, man. You say peace and safety and then sudden destruction. They didn't think that there was a grenade was gonna go off in their house, and they was just sitting there looking through their grandfather's stuff. Psalms 89:14, justice and judgment are the habitation of thy throne. Mercy and truth shall go before thy face. And that's what justice and judgment, everything around us is justice and judgment. We're able to see, the justice of Yahawashi when everybody thinks it's like oh no, that was just such a horrible incident. Those people were innocent. Ain't nobody dies innocent. Deuteronomy 32:39. None of us can escape death. If the Lord wants us to perish, then we're going to perish. But that doesn't mean that, for the ones who actually are doing the work, that we're going to receive an inheritance for that. Lord willing, we're going to receive glory for that. It said it's a precious Lord to die for this truth. We are ready to die for this truth. Lord willing, we make it out on this side, but if not, we are ready to die for Yahawashi. It's just like if you was in the military and you go to war, you don't want to go to the war and die. You want to be able to come back home and be with your family. We don't want to die, but we're prepared to die for Yahawashi. When it says don't fear death. And this is to prove that we don't fear death, because we are facing our adversaries and we can get put to death at any time. We got unknown enemies that surround us. We got people watching us that we don't know who's really seeking to end our lives. These are the same spirits that killed the prophets last time. You don't think they're trying to kill us this time? Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 39. See now that even I am he, and there is no power with me. And I'm not saying I'm a prophet. I'm just saying I'm a follower of the prophets. See what I'm saying? I'm just a messenger, But the prophets are, our elders and apostles, starting off with them, on down. And, a prophet just means to prophesy, but, I've entered into other man's labor. So I deem them to be the prophets. I'm just subject unto the prophets, and it says the prophets will be subject, unto the prophets, the spirits will be subject unto the prophets. So, I hope to be, once I find out, the Lord reveals who I truly am, Lord willing, I'm part of the number of prophets that, was defending Yahawashi my life last time. I hope to be, but we'll never know until then. So Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 39. See now that I am he, there is no power with me. And that they're saying that's no God, lower G case. There's no other kind of power but Yahawashi. I kill and I make alive, I wound and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. So if the Lord wants you to die, ain't nobody gonna be able to deliver you. If he wants you to get locked up, ain't nobody gonna be able to deliver you. He gets you anything. You get your arm chopped off. The Lord is not going to, he's gonna make sure that happens. To pay for whatever you needed to pay for. So Isaiah 43, verse 13. It says, yea, before the day was, I am he. That's the Ancient of Days. Yahawah, and there is none that can deliver out of my there's none that can deliver out of my hand. I will work, and who shall let it? So, ain't nobody stopping Yahawashi, okay? Ain't nobody stopping his will. Everything's gonna go down that needs to go down. We just hope to be on his side of mercy. John chapter 10, verse 28, and it reads, and I give unto them eternal life, and they shall never perish, neither shall any man pluck them out of my hand, and that's the elect. And we pray to be part of that number. We hope to be a part of that number. You know. So now I'm gonna go to this next video. It's talking about New York City Mayor Adams. Migrants should be sent to every city throughout the entire country. Just watch this a little bit. You know, at the water, if everybody tunes in whenever they tune in, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Barak, Atham. Lucky. Not sure why it's not playing. 1 second, bear with me. Okay, here we go.
New York City running out of room to shelter migrants. Let's go live to our Nate Foy in New York City with the very latest. Nate, what are we learning?
Hey, John, good afternoon. Mayor Adams expects 15 migrant buses to arrive in New York City this weekend, and their first stop will be the iconic Roosevelt Hotel. So the first bus arrived at the hotel this morning. This will be the city's main intake center moving forward. Migrants will be given food and water here, as well as legal and medical services. But some migrant families, John, will actually live here. Starting today, 175 families will be living at the Roosevelt. That number will increase to 850 families in time. Now, the hotel's been closed for 3 years, but now it's part of the mayor's solution to this crisis that keeps getting bigger in scale. Take a look. Another migrant bus arrived at the Port Authority this morning. We counted 38 migrants, and this comes one day after the mayor sent 2 migrant buses to Sullivan County, New York. Within hours after that, John, the county declared a state of emergency, joining 20 other New York counties trying to stop the city from busing migrants there, and Mayor Adams showed some frustration. Listen.
And whomever is telling us not to go somewhere, I have one question from them. You tell me where we should go to. That's what
John, a quick update on a story from earlier this week about homeless veterans being displaced from a hotel in Newburgh, New York, to make room for migrants. We're now looking into new reports that a veterans advocate misled lawmakers and media outlets about a story that some homeless men may have been hired to pose as veterans. We've reached out to the organization for a statement, but so far have not heard back. We'll send it back to you.
Yeah, there's enough chaos with that potentially false stories. Nate Foy for us with an update. Nate, thank you.
Okay. So, you know, as you can see, you know, they are, you know, they're struggling with that. You know, they're struggling with keeping up with all the other nations and all these migrants moving in. It's going to lead up Salaki. It's going to lead up to this. Ezekiel. You know, and I'm not saying necessarily these migrants are going to be the ones that do it, but, you know, it's going to be, you know, a lot of them are not coming here for the good of this place, you know, overall, because they think they're going to come here and they're going to be able to escape whatever, you know, they were going through down there, but it's about to get bad over here. So this reads, by the words of the mighty will I cause thy multitude to fall, the terrible of the nations, all of them, and they shall spoil the pomp of Egypt, and all the multitude thereof shall be destroyed. And that's what they're doing. They're gonna eventually be a part of why this place is jacked the fuck up. So Ezekiel, this is Ezekiel 28 verse 5. and it reads, by thy great wisdom and by thy traffic thou hast increased thy riches, and thine heart is lifted up because of thy riches from slavery. Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahawah thy power, because thou hast set thine heart, which is their mind, as the heart of power. Behold, I will bring thee the strangers upon thee, the terrible of the nations, and they shall draw their swords against the beauty of thy wisdom, and they shall defile thy brightness. You know? But yeah, they're gonna just destroy, defile thy brightness, you know. It's lock it. So this is John chapter 10, verse 28. Okay. So no, it's not. No, that's not right. It's Ezekiel chapter 30, verse 11. It's lock it. Ezekiel chapter 30, verse 11, and it reads, he and his people with him, the terrible of the nations, shall be brought to destroy the land, and they shall draw the sword against Egypt and fill the land with the slain. You know, and that's what's coming to this place. It's finna get destroyed, you know, but it's things that are gonna happen first. So now we're gonna get back over here, and we're gonna go over here. It says, Noon says, Durham report shows total collapse of the justice system. So, former Representative Devin Nunes, you know, Republican, California, said Sunday that the recently released report from the special John Durham on the FBI investigation into former President Trump's ties to Russia shows a total collapse of the justice system. You know, and this is them being divided. This is a really sad day for America, Babylon, or whatever. I don't want to get too much into it. But it's just showing that, you know, the Lord is dividing these demons, which we are glad to see. So Habakkuk chapter 1, verse 4. This is Habakkuk chapter 1, verse 4, and it reads, therefore the law is slack, and judgment doeth never go forth, for the wicked doeth compass about the righteous, therefore wrong judgment proceedeth. See? Right judgment don't come across. This is 2 Peter 2, verse 4. Slovakia. Okay, so and it reads, for power spared not the angels that sinned. And actually it's supposed to be 9. So let's talk about something else. That's talking about us being reserved under judgment and the chains of darkness. This is verse 9. The Lord Yahawashi knoweth how to deliver the godly out of temptations, and to reserve the unjust unto the day of judgment to be punished. This is why there's still people going around thinking that they're getting away with everything they're doing. They don't understand Yahawashi is just reserving them to punish them. You know, and that's why we are, you know, in a repentive state, you know, frequently. And we're not trying to be a part of those people who are doing that, just sinning and doing whatever they want to do. We don't want to be around them. So this is John chapter 7, verse 24. It says, judge not according to appearance, but judge righteous judgment. So, you know, this is just a lesson to show that just because somebody don't look like, you know, so-called Negro, Latino, Native American, West Indian, Haitian doesn't mean they're not Israel. They could be of Israel. We have to judge by the Spirit. We have to judge on, you know, how they feel about the doctrine. That's the ultimate test, and not let alone how they feel out the doctrine, how they carry out their service to Yahawashi. You know, so that's just something to keep in mind. You know, when you are, you know, discerning who you're dealing with. You know, because wrongful judgment is basically all throughout the land. So Ephesians chapter 5, verse 11. Have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather reprove them. This is our job, to reprove them. This is Job chapter 9, verse 24. And it reads, the earth is given to the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. And that means that he covered up judgment, and they covered all the prophets. They did iconoclasm, which is whitewashing, and they covered all the prophets and all the people of the Bible and made them look like they had leprosy. Leviticus chapter 13, like they were so-called white people. They're not white people. They're Edomites. The word term white wasn't made till the 1680s. So we know that that's not really who they are. They're not even white. They pink. Blood show forth from the face. If not, where and who is he? So now we're going to keep going. This is U.S. signs new security pact with Papua and New Guinea in competition with China. So everybody's starting to take sides. Everybody's taking their sides, and they're picking whose side they want to go on. And this is just showing that it's another step closer to this going on. World War III. Revelations. (11) verse 14. And it reads, the second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. You see? Third woe is coming quickly, okay, which is at World War III. This is Joel, chapter 3, verse 11. And it reads, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about, to cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord, Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, for there I will sit and judge the heathen all round about. Now, judge all the heathen round about, and that's what he's doing. He's gathered them together for this great judgment upon all these nations. They think all these nations think they're going to come into power, but they're not. Yahawashi is. But why they think they're going to win? Because they're not understanding that the Lord is wanting them to do this. So this is Revelation 17:17. For power hath put it in their hearts, which is their mind, to fulfill this will and to agree and to give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of power be fulfilled. And that's what we're waiting on. We're waiting for them to finish this off so we can get the hell out of here, Lord willing. This is Iran executes 3 over anti-government protests. So these people don't look like they're men of the Lord. Okay? So if they're to execute them going against the government, because that's what we're doing, we're going against the government. This is why we know some of us are going to end up, having to face death. That's why I said be faithful even unto death. Some of us will die, for this truth, for us men, who are in this truth. And if that's in our lot to do that, then we the Lord has made us strong enough already to be ready for that. So 2 Ezra chapter 16, verse 71, it reads, they shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord, Yahawashi. So that's how we know that some of us is going to have to take one, for Yahawashi, just like he took for us. But those men are precious to the Lord. So if you end up being one of those men, don't be afraid. The Lord's going to bless you beyond your wildest means. So this is just something that, caught my attention. It's just very spontaneous, and that's how the Lord is sometimes. He's very spontaneous and makes certain things happen. So it's a storm wind sends sofa flying across the sky in Antarctica. Okay, they had winds reaching 45 kilometers. So let's see how much that is. So, 27 miles per hour. It's got to be more than that to blow a couch in the air, but maybe not. Who knows? Let's watch it. it's just gonna kind of, it reminds me of a scripture. That's the only reason why I pulled it up.
This is Frank. He runs a sustainable camping supply business. He's smiling because FedEx is growing.
Oha bak uçuyor bir tane daha bak koltuk uçuyor. Buraya geliyor geldi yan binaya girdi.
Ooh. So, you know, it had to be more than that, but as you can see, man, what's this? Uh-oh. Look at that. You know, that can do with them, you know, them fires and stuff, but man, that's crazy. But we're not going to get off topic. We go to Nahum chapter 1, verse 3. I'm always looking around at stuff, you know, from the people that do know me. So it says Nahum chapter 1, verse 3, and it reads, the Lord is slow to anger and great in power and will not at all acquit the wicked. The Lord hath his way in the whirlwind, and in the storm the clouds of the dust of his feet. So the Lord, he ordained that couch to go flying all the way over there from wherever it was. Like, that's how specific the Lord is, you know, and that's how much we need to expect. We do what he's saying, we have faith, and we change to the best of our abilities, and we come to repentance. And you know, we pray, you know, if we are that number, you know, we you know, he's gonna come get us, you know, and the ones who do die, you know, he promises, he will crown us. But until then, we don't know. But we expect what he said, you know, we believe, and that's where your faith comes in, you know. So let's go over here. This is Hungarians protest against new teachers law, police violence. So this is just, you know, some more riots going on, things like that. And I don't want to get too far into it. We're going to pull up some stuff. Second Esdras, chapter 3, verse 9. And it says, and again, in process of time, thou broughtest the flood upon those that dwelt in the world and destroyest them. And through this time, it's going to be fire. And the Lord's going to destroy these people, you know, who aren't calling on Yahawashi. They're trying to take vengeance in their own hands. They're trying to act like they need justice, but, you know, they're wicked people. So Second Esdras chapter 9, verse 3, therefore when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. You know, Lord been telling us that this was going to happen, you know, our forefathers, which is us. We just don't remember who we are. 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 12, and it reads, but these as natural brute beasts made to be taken and destroyed speak evil of the things that they understand not, and they shall utterly perish in their own corruption. That's what's going to happen to these people. They're going to perish in their own corruption because they think what they're doing is justice, but wrongful justice proceedeth in the land. So, you know, that's all I got for today. Lord willing, this is edifying to the flock. Shalom to the elect of Israel, to the hopeful elect of Israel, you Hebrew Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American, West Indian, Haitians, and the foreign Israelites, like the other nations. Gotta give all praise to Barak, the Yahawah, Barak, the Yahawashi, Barak, the Yahawah, Barak, the Yahawashi. Gotta give all praise to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Qadash. To give double honors to those apostles, a great millstone led me to this truth and been ordained by the Lord to teach the flock how to live, repent, pray, fast, and show forth with righteousness, and mercy, judgment, forgiveness, and wrath to all those who are part of the elect into the hopeful elect. Lord, willing we be part of that number. Lord, willing us be edifying to those who fear in the name of the Lord and strive and show forth the Lord's righteousness every day to the best of their abilities. The judgment always comes to light. Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 5, and it's not slack. 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 9. So the water for tuning in, ball, and Lord willing we'll be back to, talk to me. How about you now? Try another day. Shalom.